The night was still. The three-wagon camp hushed beneath the watchful stars. The youngest of the dwarf brothers had taken the first watch, but weariness claimed him, and he dozed by the dying fire. Fortune, however, favored the company, for Arondir the human cleric lay awake, his sharp ears pricking at the sound of whispered voices drifting through the dark. With a practiced hand, he grabbed a stone and conjured a light and hurled it toward the shadows. The sudden glow revealed 5 figures, humanoid silhouettes with blades and magic glinting in the firelight. In the same breath, the strangers charged, steel flashing as they descended upon the sleeping travelers and the carts laden with precious supplies. One attacker slashed deep into a horse's thigh, sending the beast screaming into the night. The party roused in chaos, weapons drawn as the battle began in earnest. Steel clashed, sparks flew, and cries of pain and fury filled the three-wagon camp. Amid the fray, a lone human figure emerged from the darkness. With a whispered incantation, a great glaive materialized in his hand, its edge shimmering with arcane might. Without hesitation, the stranger turned against the attackers, joining the company in their desperate defense. The 5 proved to be elves, grim, relentless, and cruel of purpose. Amid the clash, the travelers overheard their muttered words. They sought Grimshaper, the battle-scarred dwarf, and a medallion they think he was holding. Though the party fought valiantly, their foes pressed them with deadly intent. Arondir dealt a near-mortal blow to the leader. Reeling, the elf fled into the night, but not before commanding his warriors to seize Grimshaper or his medallion. The elves fell one by one, though none yielded their secrets even under grim persuasion. Yet Arondir uncovered a clue. Each elf bore a bracer on their wrist made of onyx etched with the image of a coiled serpent. Grimshaper's expression darkened at the sight. "This could be worse than you know," he rumbled. "The mark may belong to an ancient order, or to those who would see such darkness rise again." The three-wagon camp lay in ruin. 2 of the 3 wagons' wheels were inoperable. Amid the wreckage, the travelers spoke to the lone survivor, Grendel, that helped them in battle, a hardened human whose own companions had fallen to a similar ambush less than 3 hours before. At dawn, the captain gave his orders. Peony the gnome, Lee the human ranger, Roos the 7-foot-tall Goliath, Arondir the human cleric, and their new ally Grendel the human warlock would journey to the nearest town of Diaro to seek the parts needed for repair. Their path wound through quiet fields until Roos's keen eye caught the glint of gold. Half buried in the dirt lay a single coin, gleaming with unnatural luster. When the Goliath stooped to claim it, his form warped with a shimmer of foul magic. Where once stood a giant of stone and flesh, there now flapped a bewildered chicken. From the shadows crept a gaunt, grime-covered man, his grin cruel and knowing. "Return him to his true form," he croaked, "and all it shall cost you is your most prized possession." Peony and Lee yielded their treasures without hesitation, desperate to restore their comrade. But Grendel drew his blade and struck the trickster down. Yet Arondir, ever cunning, wove magic to drag the man's spirit back from death, demanding the secret of Roos's salvation. Reluctantly, the figure whispered the truth, a word of power. But when Arondir spoke it, Succa, nothing happened. Again and again he tried, his voice growing louder until frustration boiled over. But enough time elapsed where Roos turned back into his normal Goliath form. Roos, during his time as a chicken, did lay an egg and got it back from Grendel. With the curse broken, the company pressed onward and at last reached the gates of Diaro, which was a modest town. What awaited them in that modest town was a tale yet to be told.